There are some things in life that everyone does, even if we'd rather not admit to it. The worst of all being anything related to bodily functions. Now starting off with number 10, Tiger Woods. Here's one that you might not have heard about, involving golf superstar Tiger Woods. During one of his golf competitions while waiting for his golf opponent Graham McDowell to tee off, Tiger Woods created a slight disruption after he broke some wind. It honestly sounds like a stroke of genius to me. What better way to mess with your opponents than to catch them off guard with a loud fart before their golf swing? After the moment in question, Tiger can be seen trying not to laugh his ass off, and we can't really blame him as that's anyone's natural reaction to an unexpected toot. Next at number 9, Cheryl Cole. While Cheryl Cole was a judge on The X Factor, there was a moment in the show while commenting on Cher Lloyd's performance where she briefly pauses, and you can hear that the deed has been done. Sometimes protect. So she's the first person on this list to be named a serial tutor, the next one coming up soon. Cheryl said in an interview with The Sun that she has major anxiety around the subject now, as whenever someone around her farts, they think it must be her. She said, quote, "I always look around and try to work out who it was, and I see the eyes staring back at me. I know they're thinking Cheryl Cole thinks it's okay to fart on a plane as she's special." And it's so not true. This issue haunts her so much that she actually started to dream up a new product that could prove to everyone that she isn't the one tooting all the time. She continued on in the interview with The Sun, quote, "There should be a sort of aerosol that can be sprayed into the air that would pinpoint the guilty person." Honestly, I would definitely be here for that, because there's been more than a few times in my life where I want to know who cut the cheese. Coming in at number 8, Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin is best known for hosting Live with Regis and Kelly and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but he is also known for having one of the most talked about farts on live TV of any celebrity. On one episode of Live with Regis and Kelly, the two are seen talking while Regis rips a quick one.
Anyway.
Kelly tries not to react but ends up laughing anyway. It's live TV, people, so I'm sure they're used to some things slipping out that they'd rather not have. In at number 7, Hillary Clinton. This celeb fart is another one up for debate. A lot of people think that Hillary Clinton passed some gas during the 2007 Democratic debate, while others think it just might have been some fuzziness with the sound or editing.
Controversial issues.
Either way, it's hilarious, come on. People have also speculated whether the video proof of the fart is real or not. And since Hillary is such a controversial figure, it would not be shocking that someone would try to pin a fart on her. In the video, Hillary is gearing up to answer a serious question, then all of a sudden you hear a slight fart and an uncomfortable look on her and some of the other panelists' faces. So I don't know, I'll leave this one up to you guys to review the evidence for yourselves. In at number 6, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is best known for being a wildly entertaining talk show host that is always spilling tea on her show. But one time, she got caught accidentally spilling something else. On one episode of her show, she is seen talking about Odell Beckham Jr., but then she starts sitting strangely, then all of a sudden stops talking so that everyone can hear a long and slow toot. But the story did not end there. After the story blew up on social media, Wendy came out trying to convince everyone that it was actually not a fart. She followed up about the situation on her show saying she only leaned over like that because it's comfortable, not because she was farting. She then continued saying that she has never farted even once on the show, and even went so far to blame the guest who was on the show that day, who was a chemist. And she legit made him film a segment to try and prove he was the one that did it. They claim that the chemist was messing up pipes and equipment backstage, and that's where the noise came from. Honestly, the fact that they were trying to cover it up so hard just proves to me that she 100% dealt it. Now halfway through at number 5, Megyn Kelly. During her time on Fox News, Megyn Kelly was a victim to the on-air machine when she loudly farted on live TV during her segment.
Your spouse isn't gonna want to do that.
She basically owned up to the fart instead of trying to pass it off, as right after it happened, she started laughing uncontrollably, and then farted again while still laughing. At least she made light of it instead of trying to awkwardly pass it off like some other people on this list. In at number 4, Larry King. I'm not 100% sure that this one is actually a fart, but on his huge TV show Larry King Live, Larry was accused of farting while doing an interview. If you listen closely, he pauses and then you hear a little something.
See any optimism here?
But plenty of people in the comments of the video are saying that it was most likely just a wooden chair moving or something else non-bodily function related. I guess the world might never know the truth about this one. Next on to number 3, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg is infamous for a few things, but most recently she's been the go-to person on The View for passing gas. The host has farted not once, not twice, but 3 recorded times on The View. Honestly, with that record, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more. But the noble thing about Whoopi is that she always owns up to it and makes light of the situation when it happens. Dr. Oz was even on the show talking about passing gas, and when he asked all the hosts who had farted in the short time he had been there, Whoopi excitedly raised her hand and yelled, "Me." Then she literally farted again. If you don't believe me, watch this. Well, at least if you're gonna be the person on The View known for farting, do with confidence like Whoopi. Now in at number 2, Julianne Hough. Julianne Hough has had not 1, but 2 different incidents of cutting the cheese on live TV. One was on Dancing with the Stars. During her post-performance interview with her partner, you hear a little toot, then Julianne and her partner bursting out laughing at the incident.
Log on to abc.com, do whatever you have to.
Which is a dead giveaway that it actually happened. The other incident happened when she was hosting America's Got Talent. During her commentary on the performer that was on stage, you can hear an audible fart. And then the other judges on the show laughing about what they think just happened. And finally, taking the coveted number 1 spot, Taylor Swift. And last but not least, the country sweetheart herself, Miss Taylor Swift. In 2015, during an interview at the VMAs where she was surrounded by her model squad friends, Taylor was enthusiastically announcing the premiere of her Wildest Dreams music video when she kinda squatted out of excitement, and then the dirty deed was said to have taken place. There are a few things here that make us pretty darn sure that Taylor did indeed fart, as if you watch the video, the odd squat-like movement seems like something that someone would do if they were trying to cover something up. Also, the look on Karlie Kloss's face, who was standing directly behind her after the alleged toot, kinda speaks for itself.
Hey guys, I'm really doped up on my mess right now.
An influencer who took part in the coronavirus challenge by licking a toilet seat is reportedly in the hospital with coronavirus. This is the same coronavirus challenge that was started by influencer Ava Louise, but it's a different influencer. Oh my god, is this what we need to do to be trendy, you guys? You guys wanna go lick some toilet seats after work? Okay, so remember a few days ago when I told you guys about an influencer who went into an airplane bathroom and filmed herself licking a toilet seat? That Ava Louise girl? So she tagged the coronavirus challenge in her video. And I didn't think that anyone would actually do it. Like, I didn't think anybody would be actually dumb enough to start this challenge and continue this challenge. But someone did do it. And in fact, a lot of people are doing it. And one of the people that did it is now in the hospital with coronavirus. I mean, like, I feel really bad for him, but like, why did he lick a toilet seat? Like, I don't get it. I would feel more bad if he did something like, I don't know, like touch an elevator button or take public transit or something like that. But he was asking for it a little bit. No? A social media influencer from California who goes by the name of Lars on social media, he's got 30,000 followers. He announced that he tested positive for coronavirus and posted a video of himself in a hospital bed. This announcement came just days after he posted a video of himself licking a toilet seat in a public bathroom and tagging the coronavirus challenge. He tweeted from his Twitter account, which is now suspended, "I tested positive for coronavirus." He also posted a video of himself to Instagram that shows him in a hospital bed and on medication. Now listen, this is a guy, he likes to chase the clout. He licked the toilet seat, he's trying to do it for attention. So maybe he was in the hospital for something else. Maybe it's not even a real hospital bed, I don't know, it looks pretty real to me. The point is, you gotta keep in mind that this maybe is just another way to go viral and get a little extra clout. But if I know the internet, and I know the internet pretty well, he's gonna get a lot of the wrong kind of attention. And like, no one is ever gonna kiss him again. Jesus, you kiss your mama with that mouth? The coronavirus challenge is mostly something that's going viral on TikTok, and it's basically the dumbest and most disgusting thing ever. People are going around, they're licking things, they're coughing on things. People are also going to grocery stores and licking a bunch of things on the shelves. Look at Gutsify, huh? In case you were wondering, or in case you didn't know, this challenge that people are doing could endanger your health and also the health of your community or anyone else that happens to go to the place that you licked or coughed on. But it also could land you behind bars. A Missouri man was recently arrested for licking a supermarket shelf filled with deodorant. More on that later on the channel. Oh, you thought I was done? No, I got more tea for you.
The Kardashian family have been on television for 13 years before their show came to an end. Throughout this reality series, we got a sneak peek into the lives of this wealthy and powerful family, which means they caught several times that Kim Kardashian specifically had public meltdowns. And at number 10, the diamond earring. While on vacation in Bora Bora, Kim created one of the most iconic lines on the show. After Chris Humphries tossed her into the ocean, Kim soon realized that she had lost one of her earrings. She immediately began sobbing after losing the $75,000 diamond earring, which gave way to Kourtney's big line of, "Kim, there's people that are dying." When the Kardashian family celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Keeping Up with the Kardashians in September of 2017, Kim explained why she got so upset about losing the earring in the ocean. During the interview, she said, "Okay, can I explain that earring? For years for my birthday, I buy myself a birthday present, and I had upgraded that pair of diamond studs, worked really hard." Then after Khloe questioned her on whether or not the story was relatable, Kim continues by saying, "I mean, it's not relatable, but it's what I went through, and it's why I was crying, so I'm just being honest. They were $75,000 probably or more, but I don't have them anymore, so no one come look for them. Anyways, I had just gotten them and I didn't insure them, and imagine if you don't insure something and it's gone. I just threw that money away." And at number 9, the Paris robbery. While appearing on My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, Kim told Dave that she feared for the worst when the robbery was taking place in Paris. Her and her sister Kourtney had traveled to Europe to attend the Paris Fashion Week, and Kim noted during the interview that Kourtney had packed up all of Kim's jewelry for the trip, which according to her was something that she had never really done before. Kim then went on to explain that on the evening of the attack, Kourtney had left the hotel with her only bodyguard, which left Kim completely alone in their suite. Kim recounted that terrifying experience and said that around 3 o'clock in the morning, she remembered hearing stomping on the stairs. To her, it sounded as if a group of people were inching closer and closer to her room. Something about the noise instantly made her feel like someone had broken in though. So with every second counting now, Kim quickly grabbed her phone to dial for help. Although shortly after, the gang of intruders did indeed violently make their way into her hotel room and specifically demanded that she hand over the ring that Kanye West had just purchased for her. They ended up escaping with more than $10 million in jewelry that included her $4 million engagement ring given to her by Kanye West. An appropriate time to have a public breakdown. And at number 8, Rob avoids wedding. It's no secret now that Rob Kardashian didn't attend Kim and Kanye's wedding ceremony in Europe, but what most people don't know is why and what the fallout from this was. When the family first flew to Paris and then Italy to see Kim and Kanye tie the knot, Rob initially went to Paris but then decided to turn back and go home because he didn't want to be in the public eye. This really upset Kim when she received the email from Rob sharing the unfortunate news with her. Kim went on to say that she and Rob are close, but that Rob's struggles with his weight and depression had caused somewhat of a rift. She went on to say, "I'm definitely a tough love kind of person. If I don't like something that's going on in my life, I change it and I don't sit and complain about it for a year." So clearly she was upset. And number 7, plastic surgery accusations. Kim Kardashian first hit the public eye when she worked as Paris Hilton's assistant, but her show Keeping Up with the Kardashians brought her into a brand new world of fame and fortune. The way her look has changed over the years has led many to believe that Kim got plastic surgery somewhere along the way. Although Kim has always insisted that people have confused her contouring with plastic surgery. While speaking with Elle magazine, she said, "I'm really into strobing now, so just highlighting the skin without using bronzer. I love contouring and I don't think I'd stop contouring my nose. I know people think I've had a nose job, but it really is just makeup." Even after she gave birth to her first child, people assumed that she had surgery to help her lose the weight. Kim blasted people online for trying to say this and tweeted out, "I am very frustrated today seeing reports that I got surgery to lose my baby weight. This is false." And at number 6, Taylor Swift. After Kanye interrupted Taylor's acceptance speech, the two apparently talked it out and then said that it was all water under the bridge. However, when Kanye West dropped the track called Famous that had a lyric directed at Taylor, the feud reignited. Kanye and Kim claimed that Taylor had given them permission, but Taylor claimed that she actually never knew what the line was and therefore didn't give her consent or blessings. Following that whole debacle, Taylor began her Reputation tour, and for many performances she literally sang her songs next to a giant robotic snake. Which is essentially saying, I know what the truth is, and if you want to call me a snake, that's fine, I'll just embrace that cloud and be bigger from it. Kim made the situation even worse though when she decided to leak a snippet of Taylor and Kanye's private conversation to her Snapchat. This led to a massive spike in social media attacks against Taylor Swift that she says forced her into hiding for nearly a year. Around March of 2020 though, a new piece of evidence was brought up that seemingly proved that Taylor Swift was telling the truth about not wanting Kanye to use her name in the song. And number 5, sister fight. During a season 18 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim and Kourtney's issues with each other hit a breaking point. When Kim accused Kourtney of not caring about things, Kourtney snapped back at her with some very threatening words. She then pushed Kim to the ground, which led to Kim threatening to punch her own sister in the face. Immediately the meltdown began as both sisters started to grab and hit each other until Khloe stepped in to break them up. This was a real meltdown as well that resulted in production needing to be stopped for a week just so that both parties could clear their heads. Shortly thereafter, Kourtney announced that she was stepping back from the show. In number 4, the Ray J tape. Kim is no stranger to the fact that this infamous tape is the reason she was introduced to the world. Keeping Up with the Kardashians even premiered on E! Just a few months after it was released to the public. In a June 2012 interview, she said that while she felt humiliated, it only made her work 10 times harder to get people to see the real her. The tape from 2007 almost immediately went viral, and although Kim tried to fight the release of it, she ultimately settled on using the publicity to promote her family show. But needless to say, she was still very upset by it all. In at number 3, Kris Humphries. The tumultuous relationship between Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries will live in infamy in the archives of Keeping Up with the Kardashians as one of the quickest marriages ever. The beauty mogul and NBA star didn't even know each other for a full year before deciding to get married. Many years later, Kim would even confess that she felt pressure to get married, and that is why she moved so fast with Kris. After about 6 months of dating, Humphries proposed, and it was all captured for an episode of Kim's show, with the wedding taking place just 4 months later. Despite all of that pressure to get married though, Kim ultimately decided to follow her heart, and after 72 days of marriage, she filed for divorce from Humphries. Things got really messy too, because Kris was continuously claiming that the whole marriage was simply a publicity stunt, which many didn't put past the ever so cunning Kardashians. In number 2, the divorce. During one episode, the family took a trip to Lake Tahoe, which is where footage shows Kim breaking down into tears as she spoke about her marriage to Kanye West. If you recall, the reality star filed for divorce from Kanye West after nearly 7 years of marriage. In addition to that, they also had 4 kids together. Now, before they began talking about the divorce, Kim started expressing outrage over there being cookies in the vacation home. She says to Khloe that she asked for them to not bring those cookies because she gained 15 pounds, before adding, "I'm going to throw them in the toilet, I cannot eat them and I'm not joking." When Khloe tries to lighten the mood and say that it's not the cookies' fault, Kim responds that she just wants to go into a room and never come out. During an interview with just the producers, her sisters let viewers in on what Kim has been going through. Khloe goes on to say, "Kim has been struggling privately behind camera about her relationship, and it's tough because Kim is clearly redirecting so much of her frustration and sadness and anger. Sometimes you just take things out on something that has nothing to do with what you're going through." And right before the family had left for this trip, Kim also said that she and Kanye had just had a big fight. Coming in at her number 1 spot, Wyoming breakdown. After flying to Wyoming to hopefully fix things with Kanye, Kim broke down into tears again and said, "I honestly can't do this anymore. Why am I still in this place where I'm stuck for years? Like, he goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be together so I can raise the kids, you know?" Even in saying that though, she did add that Kanye was still an amazing dad, but that he deserves to be with someone who can support his every move, adding, "I think he deserves someone that can go support his every move, go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that. He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything." That being said, it's not like Kim didn't try to be there for her husband. Kanye suffers from bipolar disorder, and so Kim has been a vocal supporter of him, even asking social media to show him compassion and empathy after he began posting strange things on Twitter. Several months before their divorce though, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians film crew caught a moment where Kim tells her sisters that she feels like a failure. Because this was her 3rd failed marriage, she said that it makes her feel like a loser. But even though this pervasive thought is always coming up, she said that she can't think like that because she wants to just be happy. After that horrible response from Jelena fans at the Met Gala where they chanted Selena's name, making Hailey Bieber cry, many people started to spread more rumors suggesting that Justin was mistreating his wife. Hailey Bieber has clapped back at rumors of Justin Bieber not being nice to her. While appearing on 4D with Demi Lovato, Hailey went off on the rumors that Justin was not nice to her and mistreats her. She called these allegations big fat lies. Back in July, a video began circulating online that appeared to show Justin yelling at her in Las Vegas. Justin would later take to his Instagram stories to dispel these rumors and say that they had an amazing weekend together, even directly saying that any other narratives were false. Speaking about the rumors, Hailey told Demi, "There's so many narratives that float around about me, about him, about us together. It's so far from the truth, and it's the complete and utter opposite." She then added, "I really am lucky to say I'm with someone who is extremely respectful of me, who makes me feel special every single day, so when I see the opposite of that, I'm just like, huh?" And according to Hailey, it has been important for her to remind herself of what is actually true, especially in the face of all of these rumors. The truth is that these two have never been more obsessed with each other, which doesn't mean that the relationship doesn't have challenges, and Hailey actually expressed that one of her biggest fears before getting married was really losing her independence. However, luckily both of them really enjoy and value their own personal space. She goes on to say, "One of the things that I love the most is if we're out somewhere together, we could separate for hours at a party and find each other for 5 minutes and be like, hey, are you having fun? Oh cool, see you in a bit, and just like keep moving. That feels like a good space to me." The celebrity couple got engaged in July of 2018 after they reignited their relationship a month prior following years of on-again, off-again rumors of them dating. The pair then married in a private ceremony in September of 2018 and then held a ceremony with friends and family just a year later. Because of how famous these two are though, I really doubt that the rumor mill will ever stop spinning, but that being said, it is nice to hear that they are actually on the same page when it comes to their own relationship, which is the way it should be, and especially if you're a celebrity couple.
One was upset, it's because she said that she wanted to fire everybody and get a new staff. That made people uncomfortable, like, okay, well, she doesn't even want to be around me.
Ethan is a piece of shit. piece of garbage that, like, I swear on my life, like, before this started, I was like, damn, I lost a really good friend, but you are such a liar. It's so up to—
Yes, the drama continues. Trisha Paytas is now accusing Ethan Klein of lying about what was said behind the scenes. After Trisha quit the podcast and made several videos explaining the situation, Ethan posted a video responding to their sudden exit from the show. It is still wild to me that these two were able to make it to 39 episodes and only break up 3 times in that process. This unlikely pairing though and merging of audiences truly became a surprisingly successful podcast. They often played games and dressed up as characters, all while discussing that week's biggest drama. Although just recently an intense conversation on the podcast about production costs, creative control, and hiring staff members put the brakes on their success. After posting a video saying that they would be quitting the show, Ethan said that he was gutted by the whole situation. Shortly after, Trisha replied and apologized to Ethan, saying they felt embarrassed by everything that went down. In the tweet, Trisha says, "I apologize to Ethan, Dan, Ian, and Sam. Like, I really do. It's embarrassing and I'm embarrassed. And most of all, you guys. Like, it was cool AF to be back in a popular group for just being me. Like, love and positivity always feels good, and this right now does not. I'm sorry." Now, despite this apology to Ethan and the staff, Trisha also uploaded a series of videos titled Ethan's Lies. On those videos, Trisha reacts to Ethan's comments on the situation and tries to clear up things from their end. Paytas starts their video by saying, "I can only share the truth. I can only speak my truth. I'm embarrassed, I'm upset, I regret a lot of that past 48 hours, but if there's just blatant lies, I have to just go through it." Now, at one point in Ethan's video, he claimed that Trisha actually wanted to fire all of the staff for frenemies and get new people, although that was a lie. Trisha explained that this never actually happened, adding that just because they had issues with certain people or didn't vibe with them didn't mean that you should fire and replace them. So that's Ethan's own way of manipulating the situation to make Trisha out to be the villain. I've actually started to notice this trend with Ethan a lot, and I thought that we should maybe talk about it. For some reason, Ethan will just straight up lie about a situation when there's a conflict to either, I don't know, get sympathy or perhaps laughs. I genuinely don't know what his reasoning would be to lie about this other than to get his fans to attack Trisha for leaving the show. Another person noticed this and pointed it out, saying, "The discrepancy is not whether or not Ethan agreed to a producer, it's that Ethan thought that Trisha wanted the rest of the crew gone, and expressed this to them without clarifying with her to learn that that's actually never what she was asking for." And in response to that, Trisha actually confirmed this along with a text message exchange with Ethan and said, "Exactly, why is he going between all of us? When I see them, he's manipulating so much and I'm not sure why. Like, why tell them I wanted them fired when that wasn't the case? Why tell me the idea I shot down with Sam's when it wasn't? He admitted he lied about that. Why? And I'll tell you why. It's because the further that he can shift blame from himself, the less people will focus on his lies and manipulation. Let's not forget that Ethan knows Trisha has mental health issues and a traumatic past dealing with the vlog squad that they've spoken about many times, only for him to repeatedly do things that would trigger Trisha because he knows it will get his shows tons of views. This recent debacle is just the first of many examples of this. If he was a good friend to her and an honest person, he would have not aired that podcast at all. He would have not told his entire staff that Trisha didn't want to work with them. This is some drama queen behavior coming from Ethan Klein. Now, I'm not saying that Trisha is 100% innocent in this either. From what I could tell, they seem to have a pretty good deal when it came to the podcast. Not having to worry about the cost of production and still getting paid to perform is a huge luxury to have. I've had to do all of the production myself before on my own channel, and I know how much work it can be. So I understand why the crew would be so taken aback by Trisha saying that they didn't like the work that they were putting out. That being said, Ethan telling them that Trisha wanted them all fired is just plain ridiculous. As of now, it's not clear what will happen with the Frenemies podcast, but many fans are hoping that this will just blow over.
I have never, ever in my life, truly in my heart, felt someone needed psychological help the way Gabby Hanna needs help. Hi! Just watch your drama alert.
Trisha Paytas and Gabby Hanna have been feuding for what feels like a decade at this point, and a lot of people online are wondering how we got here and why these women seem to be getting more and more hostile towards each other as time goes on. So this all started back in November of 2019 when Trisha uploaded a video as a response to an Instagram story that Gabby made. In the Instagram story, Gabby asked her Instagram followers if it was wrong to tell a friend that the person that they were in a sexual relationship with had a quote incurable STD, if you were pretty sure that they had one. Since Trisha knew this situation was about her, Trisha made an explosive video called Why I Don't Trust Gabby Hanna. In the video, Trisha exposed that Gabby told Trisha's ex, Jason Nash, that Trisha had herpes, with Trisha saying that she doesn't, and it's terrible that Gabby would spread a rumor like that when it has literally nothing to do with her. With Gabby responding that she only told Jason because she wanted to protect her friend, and it wasn't gossiping because she only told Jason. Then Gabby DiMartino got involved, because in another video, Trisha called out DiMartino for telling Gabby Hanna Hannah that she didn't like her, when that wasn't true, and Gabby DiMartino apparently just said that to shut Gabby Hanna up. After that, Gabby Hanna berated Trisha with texts. So I know all the Gabbys are confusing. I'm confused too. Then when all this was going down, a fan tweeted out something very shady towards Gabby, saying, quote, "I think a lot of people forget or don't know that Gabby Hanna chose a bad man over her then best friend, who was the victim," Deanna said, referring to Jessie Smiles and her ex Curtis Lepore. After this, Gabby decided to make the terrible decision to DM this fan about that tweet and set the record straight that she never supported Curtis after the allegations, even urging her to find tweets that proved it. After a lot of back and forth between them in the DMs, Deanna was convinced that she was mistaken and made a public apology to Gabby Hanna. But then Jessie Smiles got involved by making her own explosive video, calling Gabby a gaslighter and a liar, and also calling her out for sharing private details of her life with that fan. Then in the midst of all this, Gabby was called out again for DMing another underage fan, which again is like just super out of line. But Trisha wasn't involved much in this, but would tweet out in support of Jessie and these fans that Gabby was DMing with frequently. But then something really bad with Gabby happened, and that was when she made a video about e-girls and included a girl that lost her life because of a man taking it, and that of course upset tons of people who found it completely insensitive for her to include her in that video, with Trisha making a whole video against Gabby after this incident happened. Gabby ended up profusely apologizing for this, saying it was a complete misunderstanding, and after she really broke it down, a lot of people did end up taking her side and understanding why she was included in the video. Then after some more drama happened between Gabby and Jessie, Gabby got in some more drama with YouTube, calling them out for promoting drama channels and shadow banning her channels for all the drama she was involved in. After many videos that showed that Gabby looked to be having somewhat of a breakdown, many, including Trisha, urged her to get some professional help and get off the internet for a long time. And she did, with Gabby leaving YouTube for about 2.5 months, which I don't think is enough time at all, but that's a whole other story. Gabby came back to YouTube with a long video clarifying a lot of things about the reason she left, and saying she wants to come back to a nice, happy place and doesn't want to be involved in any drama anymore. And remember that because it's going to be relevant in a second. But she contradicted herself quite a bit near the end of that video, when she said she was going to be releasing a single soon and it would be about Trisha Paytas. Then Gabby went on Drama Alert and had an interview with Keemstar where it was a little more shady, and she said it's, quote, kind of a diss track. Which, like, Gabby, like, why? Like, Trisha is the last person that you want to get in beef with, because she will, like, she does not let anything slide. She will make 45,000 videos about you. Like, hasn't she learned her lesson about getting involved with Trisha by now? But I digress. So Trisha obviously fired back on all of her platforms, making a video about her called "Gabby Hanna, Leave Me Alone. You're effing creepy as hell." In the video, she calls Gabby straight up psycho, saying she needs help badly, and that Trisha is genuinely afraid of her because of how obsessed Gabby is with her. Then she tweeted out that she just wants to be left alone and to go to a psych ward after she releases her shitty song. Gabby then responded back to this saying, quote, "I guess I just got confused because in June of 2019 you said you'd be honored if I wrote a song for you and called me a lyrical genius. But I really think you'll love the song and feel it embodies you in a really powerful way. Let me know if you want to see the video. I'm posting it tomorrow first. I'll send it." So here Gabby is clarifying that the song isn't actually hate, it's just a song about her? Okay. Like, why? But okay. Then Gabby posted a video to her channel about the song, talking about how excited she was to release it. In summary, just saying she was inspired by the feud with Trisha, and all the lyrics will be about things that were in public. But all the comments were calling out Gabby for taking this like way too far. Like, why drag this out even further when you said you didn't want to be involved in drama? Like, does A plus B equals C or what? So now it seems this has all ended with Gabby posting an incredibly long and small texted apology note onto her YouTube channel, which I've personally never seen before. I guess that's her way of maybe making some money off this, I don't really know. And the very brief summary is that she knows she's wrong, but it's hard to hear people talk about her and never be able to defend herself without it being her starting drama. Then saying that she processes stuff really slowly and she needs to be okay with people not knowing her side of the story. Then saying her words have not aligned with her actions and she knows that. So she's gonna make a real change. And that's really all for this roller coaster ride of a video. What do you guys think about all this? Do you think Gabby will actually change? Or do you think she's just using drama to stay relevant? Because I honestly used to be a big fan of Gabby's and I was hoping that, you know, when she would come back from this break, she would really just stay out of drama and, you know, go back to making more normal videos, release some music, whatever she wants to do. But when she got back into drama, like almost immediately, like in the first video she posted, she was already getting in drama. Like, I was really disappointed. And then to go in that interview with Keemstar, like, just why would you do that? but I digress.
Trisha Paytas really knows how to get the people talking. It's no secret that she's known for being controversial and in the past has both said and done things that have made headlines. Usually she's making headlines for all the wrong reasons, and it seems today's video isn't any different. Back in March, while appearing on H3H3's podcast, Trisha claimed she didn't know the pyramids in Egypt exist. In fact, she didn't even know Egypt was a country, and as she put it, I quote, "I knew there were Egyptians, I just didn't know they were from Egypt." While appearing on H3H3's podcast, which is hosted by Ethan and Hailey Klein, Trisha, who's been on the show, or at least a topic of discussion more times than I can remember, said some pretty wacky stuff. She was on the podcast as part of a mock bachelorette type show where people filmed themselves eating and told Trisha why they'd make a good match together. The H3H3 team then reviewed some of the submissions with Trisha, and when they got to a man who claimed to be Egyptian, well...
I'm 100% Egyptian.
Oh, he's Egyptian.
And...
Where is that?
Now, after a few more comments were made, Trisha would eventually admit that she thought Egypt was a made-up place, prompting Ethan of H3H3 to pause the man's submission tape. From this point on, Trisha would question whether or not Cleopatra was real, as well as if pyramids were real, then asking if any of the wonders of the world actually exist altogether. After pulling up photos of Egypt and pyramids on Google, Trisha genuinely seems in awe of how beautiful the landscape really is. Over the course of this specific segment of the podcast, to no surprise, Trisha would say a lot of things that simply just made me ask, is this all an act? Or is she genuinely this far out of touch from the real world? When Ethan asked her how it'd be possible for there to be Egyptian people without Egypt existing, her response was, like Jewish people. There's no Jew land. Do you know what I mean? To which Ethan immediately stops her with one word, Israel. Trisha then tries to explain how she thought Egyptians were possibly a name to describe people from a different country or city, specifically referring to Abu Dhabi. Now, it's no surprise Trisha is saying something that's going to get the people talking. She's known for making content, or at least being controversial by saying or doing things she knows will get a reaction. Examples of this would be when she claimed to be transgender, or most recently when she made a video in which she told people she has dissociative identity disorder. Safe to say Trisha is going to continue playing into this character of hers. I really do think it's an act because I genuinely don't think Trisha wholeheartedly believes half the stuff she says.